Well, welcome back. My name's Mark, a little rascal reseller. Hope everybody's holidays are going good. I'm just getting ready for the next batch of listings on eBay. Anyway, I pulled some lapel pins and I'll be numbering them, bagging them, and stringing them today on a string so they can really easy to pull and order so they don't get mixed up. Easier to list. I hope everybody's holidays are going good. We finally got our chance to breathe. Got our shipping done for Christmas and just getting into the new routine I'm working on. Gonna try to keep on listing my smalls that I've been buying for the last few years, and I'm gonna go through the warehouse and start pulling the higher end items and get those listed as soon as I can. And then once I get to my volume that easily takes care of all my bills, I'm going to start getting back into storage lockers. That's how I started a long time ago. I used to fill up my car. I was a caddy. I would use the cash from the caddy to buy lockers and throw away, donate most of the stuff, and just cherry pick the good stuff. And kind of missed that. I kind of missed the hunt, the treasure hunt. So what I'm gonna end up doing is when I pull a storage locker, I'm gonna keep the smalls that have the same type of items, collectibles. If there's magazines, there's more than 20. I'm gonna put them in a pile of magazines for later to list. And then obviously the higher collectible items that are rare will be pulled off like I'm doing now in the warehouse. I know there's like a couple hundred items worth more than $500. So once I get those up and listed, it should ease. I've been focusing the last 3 years just turn and burn and try to list as much as I can and learn the listing process. And so I'm excited about the future. I have to get the truck fixed, get it back on the road. It's been broken, and once I get that done, I am planning on Saturdays to go to the local flea market. And I've been watching the storage lockers for guys for the last couple of years, and they liquidate the smaller items that they don't have a great value on eBay, and which is kind of the similar items that I like listing, the smaller items, the items that sell for $10 to $15. And but what they do, they turn. They're always turning product. They're buying 2 3 lockers a week, and then they go to that flea market and make $1,200 to $1,500. And I'm like, wow. I've been watching this guy, and I follow his eBay store. Call me a stalker. But like the lowest thing on his store is like $95. He has almost 4,000 listings. Every day he sells 7 to 10 items, 200, 300, 195. And I see the things he's listing and the things he's selling, and I was getting those items from lockers. I just didn't, at the time I didn't have a warehouse. All my rooms in my home was full. I doing storage lockers, it's a very, very, very challenging and exhausting. You're working all the time just to turn, and which is I'm already working all the time. So why not try to get my cost per goods up, and have that revenue from a flea market standpoint. And there's a lot to learn. I'm gonna have to learn the ins and outs, and like obviously I'm not gonna be just like these guys at the beginning. They have a cash flow, and they're always carrying 10 grand. Always. Well, I used to carry like 3 4 grand for auctions, and I was like, I thought I was the shit. But this guy, the guy I'm now narrowing my focus on, looking at his store every night, what he's listing. He's listing things that are over $100 and up, and daily there's things up to go to $2,000 to $3,000, and they're always, you can tell it's from he doesn't even take them home. He takes photos on a cardboard at the locker, and it's like, I have access. I got my warehouse. 25% of it is full. I had good ideas, but I didn't have. I always wanted to get back to lockers, but I didn't just want to send everything through the local auction. The local auction, they take 70%, and then they don't get that much if they don't. They're giving smaller amount of volumes at each auction, and it's really squeezing the sellers that are having to sell the stuff after they buy it, and I understand why they're doing it now, because most of these auction guys, storage locker guys, are going to flea markets and getting rid of the volume of the stuff, and getting a pocket full of money every weekend. I mean, these booths are full, and he's getting. It's funny, I'm sorry for getting off course of what I was supposed to do. He takes the finds that he has at the locker. He throws it on 12 tables. For 3 hours, people will sort through them, bring them up items. The first time he looks at them is when they bring it to him, and he has to realize that all these eyes are going through his items, and they're cherry picking the best items. And then he identifies if it's high-end clothing or what type of material, and he'll throw a big number at him, like, oh, that's $40. I can get $40 easy for that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And these resellers that are at the beginning, they get frustrated, and they'll try to work them down so he'll make a little bit of money. They can make a little bit of money. I'm watching this guy do this, and I'm like, wow, he doesn't even go through his items. He cherry picks the top end, and then he has the people that go to the flea market basically go through the stuff, and as it comes back to him for pricing, he identifies the item. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I've seen him do it about 10 times. It's fair game, man. It's gotta. If you don't eat, you don't survive. And I don't have all day long to go through items. And obviously I don't want to give away an item that has $500 value for $20. So that's the scary part about doing lockers. So I'm excited. Maybe sometime this year I'll get back into my first locker. I'm not jumping right back into it because it's very addicting. It's gambling, and I don't have I still have 30,000 listings in my queue, meaning still the list, music sheets. I got postcards. And I'm thinking of taking about 90% of the store and just get these things done and up, because a $1,200 draw last week, and this week is lower, but it's always frustrating. And I know once I have them up, I'll be a little different than he is. Like I won't have all these small items and items that are, it'll just be different. And at the same time, I already know where all the auction houses are, and I already know who does live auctions, and that's interesting. Live auctions are different than online auctions. You're gonna go, you have a pocket full of money and something opens up and you're like, oh wow, like you want it. Well, there's a good chance 10 other people want it too, and they got a pocket full of money. So it's way different. Like I did auctions before I did them online, and you pay $300-400. There's a good chance somebody already went through it. So you just kind of don't really don't really know. But when you're in person, they're breaking that lock for the first time. It's really interesting. You're really into the thrill of the hunt, and I know quality. You're looking right in there for quality, and then you're looking for items that will add up to what you're willing to buy or pay for the storage locker. So I'm changing. We have to. A lot of changes are happening, so we have to, keep working towards, being the best reseller you can, and I think this is a good direction for me. And then if at a time I can, hire somebody for half a day to help me lift and carry stuff, or, I'm not going to have a box truck yet. I'm going to have to use my truck for a while. Just gotta keep the overhead down. That's what kills people in the storage lockers is overhead. I'm very lucky to have the warehouse, and my overhead is really low. So I have a good chance of doing well at this. So I just don't want to just jump in, and I want to respect the people that are doing it, and at the same time, score some good lockers. So that's the 2024 direction change. It's my way of getting higher value items in the store. At the same time, still buying this, the same type of items. I'm redoing my website. We buy collectible items. I get leads around the country for items that people have to sell, and it's in the URL down there or on my about page in YouTube. And I did SEO for a lot of years with my business partner, so we get leads, and I thought maybe I can get enough leads to find sellers in each community, and it's a time suck. I got leads. Sometimes the leads are only good for 24 hours. They're looking to sell quickly. And if you have to look for somebody to help you buy it from that area, or you're interested in buying it and you have to travel and pick it up, and it's 4 truckloads, you're kind of messed up on that. So I'm changing the direction I'm going with the website. It's not going to be for any type of seller. I used to have a form on the site, and then if I got leads from the area, you would get notified. And I was hoping to generate enough leads and sellers that I someday would be able to, charge for the leads like I did in SEO. And it's not saying it's not possible, but there's a lot of people in this business that come and go, and it'd just be too much negotiating for leads that you just can't really guarantee how many come in a month for one area. So I'm just going to focus on bringing leads in my neighborhood community, southern, southwest, the 3 states, California, Nevada, Arizona, maybe New Mexico, maybe Oregon. I'm not sure how far I would be willing to go. But if I had, a big collectible item, and the right price, I'll go pretty far, but it all depends on, this new site's going to be really Google friendly. It's going to answer questions that Google has. So it's a little bit more advanced than just a normal website. Actually, my competitors will be blown out of their water. They'll be like, I guarantee my local auction houses that try to buy items from homes, all my searches will be above them very quickly. Not going to tell you how I do it, but my website's going to be visible, and I'm pretty excited about that. That should happen in the first 2 months of the year. Get some new business cards, get some, and I'm steering away from buying from auctions. They were really, really good for me during COVID, and everybody was worried about surviving COVID, and I thought I was doing great. But then after COVID, all the sellers that were selling to the auction houses, they went from the storage locker guys, they would bring in 10 boxes of magazines, to just give you an example. Well, now they only bring in 3. and they'll hold on to the other 7 and do another 3 a week or month down the road, and another 3 a month down the road from there. Or they'll send them to different auction houses, but they won't give you all of them at once anymore. Well, that's like a heartbreaker for me, because I'd rather pay $800 for all of them than $1,200 for them over a 6-month period, or $1,500 for, and then I'm competing for the same people, and I've got other people buying the same kind of items. The next thing you know, I'm paying more for less items. Well, I'm now done with the auction house. They call, they want to know when I'm buying. I only spent maybe $500 last year. It's cherry picking, going through and getting my value out of it before I even buy it, and having to do a lot more research. But I can't survive the way they've set it up now. And obviously, there's other sellers, not buying from them either. I mean, I wouldn't be getting back into. I would never have. I would have loved to continue to buy auction storage lockers from them. I never quit, but I wasn't able to figure out what you do with all the stuff I was getting. And now I kind of understand that you could donate the middle quality stuff to churches. You can pull eBay items. Now you got the thrift store items. You got the flea market items. You got 3 or 4 different avenues. You can even sell to the local auction house, which and I know how they've treated us in the last 2 years. It hasn't been fun. I even made a point of, I used to be able to buy 1,000 music sheets for $300. Now you can't get 100 of them. But then you'll see the same seller selling another 100 later. And the owner, obviously, the owner doesn't have any control of who's bringing in what, but they're controlling how much money they make now. If it doesn't sell at the price they want, they don't have to blind bid it and not pay for it, and then wait for the next auction. That was happened big time, where you were getting. Oh man, this rope idea really does help me save a lot of time. But if I don't get a good knot on it, or I don't use my paper, if I don't use the hole puncher, it pops the rope off my metal bar. So I just basically run it through. It's now comes off because my fish knot isn't that good. Embarrassing. So we're gonna have to fix that. And I'll basically hold about 500 pins. I'll do small figurines this way. I'll do buttons. I'll do coins. I do all sorts of different small items on rope. It takes me 3 seconds to identify what stringer I need to go to, and then from there it's just pulling the right number inventory lot. Even though it looks like it takes longer, it's one of my favorite things I've ever. For inventory management, it's by far my favorite type of inventory I pull, because I know I pull it in 3 seconds. I just find the right rope and boom, it's done. So now you kind of get my direction. I like to get back to the warehouse 3 times a week, even if it's sorting new inventory, pulling inventory to sell at the flea market. I need to get back to doing that. It really slowed down this last year on eBay, and we all know that. Fourth quarter was only saved because I started playing with that pay-per-click, and I started playing around with the AI. I think had some. I really do think the AI has the keyword stuffing from the item specifics, and I've noticed that most of the AI descriptions I use, and you can see all the traffic views from it. And when I don't use the AI, there's a good chance I don't get a lot of views on the item. And I sell long tail items, and I'll sell between $100 to $300 a day on long tail items. So I felt like the pay-per-click advance and the off-site helped a little bit. I'm now over 700 web page views a day, and I'm pushing over 700,000 impressions a day, and that's good. I got 10,200 items in the store. So if I can get to 50,000, that means it's going to be like 2 million views and 2,500 page views, and I'll be I don't expect 50 to 50 in income, but I definitely believe that once I get to 20,000, the income will gradually increase. But it's not 50-50, guys. But it's worth the effort I'm doing, and I enjoy what I do. I love what I'm doing. I kind of wish I started younger in life, full time. But I've been selling on eBay, or my first account was $19.99, and I still have that account. We were selling golf clubs, and now the I wish I would have just kept on doing this, because it's just really neat to most of my comments for my customers that buy from me are positive. I do this. I have an app that tells me when the item's out for delivery, and it gives me a chance to send them a letter making sure it arrives to their city, the item they bought, not the full title, but just it's basically I think I might have mentioned it before, but I'm now at I give you example, I'm almost at 200 reviews this month. When I started this back again, because I had done it before, I was at 94, and I'm now at 200 a month. 190, 200, it's bouncing around depending on how many orders I get. And I really like sending it when it's out for delivery. That means I have a 4 to 5 hour window before they open the package. And I'll go, "Hi Philip, say thank you so much for ordering the magazine from us. I want to ensure it arrived to Rocky Mountain, that you were happy with the purchase when it got there." So the 3 things I change in this paragraph is his name, what type of item. So if it's a Coors Light bottle opener, I just say bottle opener. I grab the name of the city it's going to when I enter in the identification number for the item. So everything's right there. I don't have to do much. Any part of this purchase was not up to standard. Please hit reply to this mail and let me know if there's what we can do to do our best to help ensure that you're satisfied. Thank you, Little Rascal Reseller. So basically, I'm basically I'm scraping for negative or neutral reviews before I get them. And I have basically different messages for offers, different stages of the selling process, just to let people know about my duplicate shipping. If you 2 or more items in the same package, it's flat rate. But this one has really changed the way I feel. It's changing the way I think. What I mean by that, normally you get a message, it's like, "Oh, it can't be any good," But 95% of the messages now coming in are, "Wow, thanks for the message. Everything's terrific." And if I do get a negative, "Oh wow, look, you didn't tape it well. The box was almost open," and and I just kind of play dumb. I'm like, "Oh man, I'll make sure that the team knows. We'll make sure that doesn't happen again." But what it does is, when someone has a place to complain, it doesn't allow them to go to the negative neutral feedback. They feel like they can express their concerns. They're not happy with it. There's tape on the magazine. Well, most of my magazines are used and they have wear, and most of the damage can't be seen, so it's in the description. So I kind of come back with them with, I'll pay for shipping and returns. I'm sorry, but most of my magazines have condition issues. And, because every title, every description in my magazines and music sheets are not good. They're all, even though if they're good, they're not good. Because if you say they're good and in someone else's opinion's different, now you're dealing with a slight return. Or if you just say they're just below average and they look at the photo and they respond back like, wow, it's way better than I expected. So I started doing that. Maybe it slows down sales because I always have below standard magazines, but at the same time, I really don't want a negative or neutral feedback because they're so much harder now to to get off eBay. I mean, you really gotta step your grounds. Well, having this email in the queue saying that if there's any part of this not happy with, and and you get a negative or neutral feedback, you can almost go straight to eBay. It says, "Hey, I reached out to this guy asking him if there's any problems. Please contact me. He just went around and gave me a neutral feedback." And so it's kind of funny. It's kind of like it's just a way to protect your account. Not 100% on my reviews. I had some eBay internationals that gave me negative, and they didn't remove them like they promised. There's a lot of eBay issues, guys. We know that, and they're gonna work them out. I'm not here to bash eBay next year. I'm gonna pray for them, and hopefully they can survive what they're doing, and and stop laying off people and start growing. The only platform that's not grown this last year. If you really dive into the numbers, proof is in the pudding. The numbers don't lie. eBay was one of the best. It's still one of the best. You got Poshmark closing their international hub, and there's so many moving parts with eBay. You just gotta take the grain, the good and the bad, and do what you can do. I'm doing everything I can to prevent unhappy customers, making sure they're happy, and if they're not, in a nicely way, saying, "Hey, I'll pay for shipping and returns." I don't want I don't want to return it. Then why are you bitching? It's like, why are you crying? Because you want something. And in that case, I've already covered myself in the title, descriptions. Everything's kind of pointing in the direction that I can have it removed. But that being said, I got all these pins to finish photos. I'm hoping to do 100 today, 100 music sheets tomorrow, 100 postcards the next day, 100 buttons the following day. Gonna head to the warehouse. I'm gonna pull 10 of the. I have to kind of research and find the items that have value. So it's not like I could just walk in there and go, it's like Google Lens Turbo. It's gonna be. I have some ideas of what has value, but I still have to do the research. I just don't want to pull a whole bunch of middle if I have higher stuff. So the goal is one of the days out of the week I'm going to be listing higher items. There might only be 10 at the beginning, and I'll slowly try to get that filled up. But all the low items and the collectible items that have very, slow sell-through rate, $9 to $15 items are already bought, and they're all staged in different boxes and containers. And so I'm just going to process these, get to a point where I feel like I have enough in there that I can then shift to my plan and survive. It's like I said, if I didn't make the changes I did 60 days ago on my playing like not paying eBay for sales, you know, really going after being okay with giving them more money. That kind of got in my way. And once I realized, you know, I can turn down my promoted standard, and I got it down to 12, and then I'll eBay advance I have set for 12 cents, $50 a day. I got 2 accounts doing that, 2 different what do they call them, events. Those spend between $5 and $10 a day. I'm trying to get the bottom fruit. I'm monitoring it because they're really enticing me to go up in price. And like I got a red notice saying, "Oh, you're too low." Too low on the pay-per-click. And I'm like, it's been working for me. You know, the numbers are right there. I'm selling stuff. So they're trying to squeeze every penny they can to make up for the what they would call changes. And every time I turn around, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, the shipping, using eBay shipping, certain items are now more than pirate ship. And I'm starting to notice that. And it could be up to $100 a month. And I got to be careful because I don't want to spend an extra $100 a month. So anyway, thank you for listening. I didn't get many done, but I needed to talk to someone. It's been a couple weeks since I did a video, and it doesn't replace human contact, but at least gives me a chance to display my ideas. And wish you guys a happy new year, and until next time, God bless. Have a great new year, guys.